Hey, welcome back to the show. We are at 18 minutes past the hour and have some super cool photos to show you here. Yesterday you may have seen my moose photos that I took from in my yard and in my neighbor's yard, and now we have some even cooler photos to show you of some of the wildlife you can catch here in Park City. And Scott Root's in here to tell us all about it, giving us the update, especially this time of year. It's one of those seasons where you've got to be really careful. The animals are moving, they're migrating, and you know, even yesterday I saw a porcupine on the road that somebody had run over. So you know, you got to keep your eyes out for the wildlife that's going to be out and about. So Scott, how you doing?
I'm doing great.
Good. Do you have such a cool job that you get to, you know, be up close and personal to all of this wildlife, and do you love it?
I think I have the best job in the world. And whenever I teach kids or whatever, I let them know I do have that job.
We were fascinated by some of your photos, so why don't you start talking? Let's talk about the migrating animals, and then we'll get into the mountain goats as well and how people can see them.
Yeah, I saw a mountain goat today, but yeah, migrating animals is probably the important message I want to share today. I work with a couple very important groups, Wildlife Protection Society and Wild Aware Utah, and the message we're trying to get out to the public is that wildlife, they're migrating, they're moving around, especially in November. You get the snow. And
okay, hold on. I'm going to interrupt you. Talk about this photo, because when I saw it, I went, hold on, I wasn't that close to the mom and the two baby moose in my yard yesterday. So is this for real?
This is for real.
Really?
Yeah.
This is
gosh. Right here in Park City. I want to say on top of the World Drive, something like that, last year. And the moose, that moose was being a little bit aggressive. It had some calves.
So you guys decided to step in?
Well, when people complain for public safety, we have to.
Right, I know.
So we tranquilized it, and that's my friend, wildlife manager Craig Clyde, just kind of stabilizing it so it would fall because it was starting to get sleepy.
Oh, okay.
And we wanted it to kind of he wanted to help lay it down in the snow softly.
Okay, I when I first saw this, I thought, okay, you know, you're just guiding it along, you're taking a walk with the moose, you're on a stroll. So that makes more sense. But.
Right. There's a little, I guess, excitement with our job.
Okay, what about this photo? Is that a mountain goat?
That is a little joke I just did, a little fun photo. One of those Facebook photos I did.
Okay.
We have a lot of mountain goats in this area. And this is at the mouth of Little Cottonwood Canyon. And we have a mountain goat viewing day, so I just kind of did a little take on mountain goat viewing on that picture.
Cool. Now, talking about mountain goat viewing, you know, how often do you get to see mountain goats? I honestly can't say that I've seen them. Do you have to be in certain areas?
Yeah, it helps. They tend to be in the same area this time of year. You'll see them in Provo Canyon.
Okay.
We have them up on Timpanogos. I like to send people to the mouth of Little Cottonwood Canyon. Now, this is in April, the picture we're looking at now. But we hold an event because they're really just almost at eye level across the canyon from you in Little Cottonwood Canyon. I saw one coming up Provo Canyon today, but you have to be careful. I don't think you're supposed to park in Provo Canyon in some areas, but it was down low. And they blend in with the snow. Hard to see, but if you take the time and look, you'll see them. And you can call our offices. We'll help get you to those areas.
Do you have a lot of people that are calling you to try and find areas? Because, you know, in my experience with working at the TV station, I'll meet visitors and they'll say, I just want to see a moose. And I'm like, well, come to my neighborhood for one, because they tend to always be there. But, you know, it kind of is time and place for when you're going to bump into these animals.
Yeah, and you never know, Jen, because they are where they are. You know, it's funny. We fly this area every year or every few years to get a good count of the wildlife. Sometimes you'll see the wild animals on the very tops of the mountains, and you'll have some down right in town.
These are the moose that were in my yard and in my neighbor's yard. So you can see the mom and the two babies. And they just went on a stroll. They were just walking along driveways. I mean, I would turn into my driveway and I couldn't get into my driveway, so I followed them for a little bit in my car and was snapping some photos. So they're just a fascinating animal to see, aren't they?
They are, and that's why people move to Park City a lot of times to have this. People in the inner city. You'll never have this happen.
And then you meet other people who are like, my plants, they got stomped on and they're eaten. You know, you get some people that are loving it, and other, you know, people who are spending all this time in their yard are getting so frustrated because all the animals are eating them.
Exactly, and that's another thing. You know, I could plug our website, but we have some literature on our website on how to landscape for wildlife, and it tells you about plants to put in your landscaping because they don't like to eat them. And some people like to have plants that deer do like. Whatever you want, go to our website and we'll pitch that maybe whenever. But
is it just wildlife resources?
Wildlife.utah.gov.
Okay, and you can also go to, we've got wildawareutah.org on there as well. You can
Right.
go to that one and get more information. You can also go to the Wildlife Protection Society website. We've got a couple different, different entities that are all trying to do the same purpose and really the safety of us as well as the animals.
Yeah, and with Wildware Utah, which is basically Hogle Zoo, DWR, Wildlife Protection Society, Utah State, and others, they will actually go to schools and talk about, living among the animals and, safety and tolerance and things like that. So we're here to help.
Now, I want to ask you quickly before we wrap up, fishing opportunities. Are there, I'm not much of a fisher to begin with, but if I am, it's during the summer when it's warm.
Right.
You're up in the Uintas and it still feels a lot colder, but how many people are still out fishing right now?
Well, November is the very best time
Is it really?
to go for brown trout.
Okay.
The Provo River and other streams in the area, they're spawning. And so what happens is they're very aggressive, and you throw a spinner in there, and they're like, get out of my turf, and they'll attack it.
Okay.
So it's a well-known fact that November, and you can see how colorful they are right now, and they're spawning colors. Great time to go fishing.
Isn't it so cool too? Dana and I were talking earlier in the show about the gold award that Utah just received for our bike trails. And you look at the bike trails that we have, the skiing opportunities, the wildlife that you're able to see. It's a pretty cool area to live in.
Not to mention Utah's 70% public land.
Isn't that great?
I can't think of a better state,
Wow.
and that's why I'm here.
Are you from here?
Well, yes, I am.
Okay.
Salt Lake.
You haven't wanted to leave as
No.
well as a lot of us. We all stay here because we love it so much. So if you are wanting more information, again, if you want the information on where to see the mountain goats or just your safety, I know I've had an email before too. People are like, because people have cougar spottings or whatever it is, and people get a little freaked out. You can go to any of those websites we mentioned. And of course, Wildlife Resources and their website, you can check that out as well. So thank you so much for coming in, Scott. Thanks for those pictures. Those were incredible.
You bet.
So pretty cool to see. All right, we're going to take a short break here on the Matt's Morning Show. Stay with us. We'll be right back.